Hi everyone, my name is Adorable and you are welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I made this beautiful Ankara pencil skirts with side flounce. So stick around with me guys as we get started. So to start with, I'm going to be giving an illustration with a pattern paper. I'm not going to be cutting it. I'm just going to give an illustration. This is a beginner's friendly course. So for a better understanding, I'll be using a pattern paper first for illustration. These are the requirements. These are the things I'm going to be using. I have 2 yards of Ankara fabric. I have my scissors, my tape, my chalk, and every other necessary things. And most importantly, you need the measurements you're going to be using. So I've gone ahead to fold my pattern paper into two. Here I'm going to be folding it into four again. I folded into two and then into four, as you can see, leaving about 1.5 inch aside from the folded parts. I'm leaving 1.5 inch for my zipper allowance. That's going to serve as my zipper allowance. Just by the edge, as you can see, a part is longer than the other side, so that's going to be my zipper allowance. And I'm folding it into four because I'm going to be cutting both front and back together. So this is the measurements I will be using. And first of all, I'm going to just take my length. The length of the skirt is 22 inches. So I am removing 3 inches for my band. I'm going to be removing 3 inches for my band because I'm going to be attaching it later into the skirt. So I'm not going to be adding it while cutting. So you want to remove the band measurement first. Then before you go ahead to mark your hip line from the waist to the hip line is about 8 inches. I used 8 inches for my hip line, and then I went ahead to take my length of skirts, and then I added 2 inches allowance for folding the down. That is if you're not going to be using lining, fold it down. So guys, automatically this upper part is my waistline. I have my hip line, and I also have the length of my skirts plus allowance at the down parts. You can also see my zipper allowance. So I'll go ahead and divide my waist measurements. I'm going to divide it 30 inches divide by 4. Whatever it gives you, you add allowance to it and mark it right at the very top. Right at the very top, you have a straight line already, so there's no point ruling any line for your waistline. So just make use of the first from the very beginning of your fabric. Divide the hip into 4 as well. Divide the hip measurement by 4. Add allowance to it. You can add 1.5 inches allowance. You can add 2 inches allowance. Just use your discretion. Mark it at the end and then go down to the end of the skirts. I'm going to be using my hip measurements to get the down part of my skirts. I'll come again. I don't know if you understand me. I'm going to be using my hip measurements to get the down part of my skirt. Remember, it's a pencil skirt, so you need that pencil fitting at the down of the skirt. So I'm going to be subtracting about 2 inches from my hip measurements. That is what I will use in marking the down parts of my skirts. I'll just go ahead and mark it and then really line straight down to meet with the allowance. So guys, I have my waists measurements, I have the hips, I have the down. So I'll just connect these three measurements together. This is very easy. You just need three measurements for a skirt. Connect the lines together and you just cut it out. You notch the zipper parts, which is going to be your middle front and your middle back. So guys, like I said earlier, I'm not going to be cutting this pattern paper. I just wanted to show you an illustration. So we're going to be using this Ankara fabric. for the main cotton. I only used that paper just for illustration. So now I've folded my fabric into two. I folded my fabric into two. Here I'll be cutting only the front first, and later I'll go ahead and cut the back. So I'll be cutting it one after the other. So fold your fabric into two. Make sure you're not wasting your material. I'm trying to get my exact measurements. I'm trying to make sure that I've folded. My folding is not too much. So guys, I've just folded my material and I'm taking my length of skirts. Go ahead and take the length of the skirt, whatever the length measurement you're using. I'm using 22 inches and I made it 22.5, sorry, rather 23, because I'm using half inch for joining the lining at the down, another half inch for joining the band at the top. So guys, I already mapped out my waistline. That's my waistline there. That's my waistline, my hip line as well. So divide the waist by 4. Divide the waist by 4. Mark it there plus your allowance. Go down to the hip line. Divide your hips by 4. And I just put my mark right there. Go to the down parts, which is the end of the skirts. Subtract about 2 inches from your hip to get the down part, just to get that pencil shape at the down, because it's supposed to be fitted at the down. Now go ahead and connect the measurements together. Connect your measurements together and you just go ahead and cut it out. Guys, don't forget I subtracted 3 inches from the upper parts. That's going to be my band. Don't forget, subtract your band measurement first before you cut out the main skirt. So I've gone ahead to fold my fabric again and I've placed the front on top of the back. I'm going to cut the back right now. Leave your zip allowance about 1 inch or 1.5 inch for your zipper allowance. Just by the side, you can see the zipper allowance at just beside the middle front. So all I do here is copy and paste. That's what I call copy and paste. The only thing you're leaving is your zipper allowance. Just go ahead and cut out exactly what you have. Slit the middle of the back, notch your middle front and your middle back, and guys, you're good to go. You're good to go. Your front piece and your back piece are all ready. Front and back piece already. Your zipper allowance is there as well. I just folded it inside just to make sure. And then by this corner, by the side of the skirt is where I'm going to be attaching my flounce. Remember this skirt has a flounce. Yeah, it has a flounce, guys. So that's where I'm going to be putting my flounce. I've taken my measurements for the flounce. I'm using from the beginning of the skirt to the end of the skirt. But don't forget to subtract half inch from the up and half inch from the down because of seam allowance. You're going to be joining your lining and your band. So I subtracted half up, half down, and then take your measurements for the flounce. I've gone ahead to fold. Next thing I'm going to do is to fold my fabric. I'm trying to fold my fabric to cut my, fold your fabric into 4 to cut your flounce. Fold it in form of a peplon, like you want to cut a peplon. Want to cut a peplon, use the measurements you measured earlier. The length, I'm using 24. Yeah, I'm using 24 inches as the length. That's 24 inches. You are going to divide 24 by 4, which will give me 6 inches. So place that 6 inches like horizontally, like place it like a cone wise. Place it like you see me do here. Just place it like you see me do here. Place that 6 inches and just give a mark. Just give a mark at the tip of your tip. Just watch exactly what I'm doing. You will understand better. At the tip of your tape, just give it a mark there, and then go ahead and measure what you have. You can see my mark there. Now go ahead, return your tape straight, make your tape straight, and then measure what you have. What I have there is 4 inches. Use that 4 inches measurement and go round. Keep tilting your tape all round until you make a circle out of it. Connect every of that 4 inches together. Remember, it is 4 inches. Use 4 inches to go round. Use that 4 inches to go round. Connect all the lines together, and then you take the length of the flounce. This is how you measure the length of the flounce, like the length of how long you want your flounce to be. That's what I'm doing right now. Tilt your tape all round your peplon, like go 360 degrees and connect it together. I used about 8 inches for the length of my flounce. This is 8 inches from the length for the length of my flounce. Connect it together and then cut it out like you see me do here. So this is the cut out pattern. You can put this aside. You can use this for something else. It's not really necessary for this project. Cut out your peplon. Cut out your peplon is going to be in form of a peplon, but you can also call it's a flounce. Now this is what we have, guys. This is how my flounce looks like. I'll just go ahead and slit it open by one side and open it up. Now this is what I have. You can make yours longer than this. It's all your choice. You can make it longer, you can make it just anyhow you want it. Now I'm going to cut it again. I'm going to have a double of this. I'll go ahead and cut out exactly the same thing, but I'm going to have it two. Like I want it to be serve as a lining. So I'm going to be cutting double of it. So now I've gone ahead to cut my band of camera. It's just a straight material. I folded it into two, and my band is 3 inches, but I'm cutting 4 inches for seam allowance, joining allowance. So this is 4 inches for my band. This is 4 inches for my band. You put that aside, and then the next thing I'll be cutting, we'll go ahead and cut out our lining. I'm using a pongee lining for this project, so you can decide to use any lining of your choice. Cutting a lining is so easy, guys, so easy. All you need to do is take that material you've already cut out. I'm going to use that my Ankara material. Place it on top. Place your Ankara material on top of this lining, just like you see me do now. Place it on top and copy and paste. That's what I call it. So don't mind me. I call it copy and paste. Yeah, because you're not adding any form of allowances whatsoever. You're not adding anything to it. All you need to do is just make sure it is equal. And then at the end of the skirt, like at the down part of the skirt, you would subtract half inch. I'll take that again. You will subtract half inch. Go ahead and subtract half inch from the lining, not from the material, not from your fabric. You're going to be subtracting half inch from the lining. You can see me folding my material inside, just so that I would eliminate half inch from the lining. Every other thing, you cut it as it is, exactly the way it is. So in the part 2 of this video, I will be showing you the concluding parts of how I joined the front, the back, and how I joined the flounce together. So don't forget to click on the notification button so that you can get notified. Like this video if you enjoyed watching it. I'll be in the comment section, so ask your questions. If you have any question, go ahead and drop it in the comment section, guys. And please subscribe to my channel. Please, guys, subscribe to my channel. Thank you all for watching. Bye.